Hello, it's Charlie with Red Summit RF coming to you from my workbench. I thought I'd throw together a Pixie transceiver that I received in the mail recently and then take it on a Summits on the Air activation for a field test. What follows is some of my construction coming up. Okay, so I received a Pixie transceiver rated at 300 milliwatts in the mail. I paid $2.77 for the kit and then some ancillary parts that I had lying around, and I had to order a few things, but it probably put it up over $3 a little bit. I would recommend this to anybody really, but be aware the soldering pads on the PCB board are really small, so if you haven't had soldering experience before, this might be a challenge for you. And then if you haven't had any electronics experience, there are a few components that you need to make sure you install correctly. If you put them in backwards, that would be a problem. So other than that, anybody could really do this, and it's a fun project. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of what I've done with this Pixie. I won't be showing you about the actual soldering of the components because there are plenty of videos out there for that, but I'll show you what I've done to put it inside of an enclosure. Okay, after soldering this Pixie together, I needed to test it to see if it was working. Okay, let's see. I put on a QRP Guys dummy load. I'll use a 9-volt battery for the power source. And I soldered together a push switch on the end of a 3.5 millimeter audio jack that I'll use for my CW key. And I soldered a DC barrel connector to the end of the 9-volt battery snap. I'll turn on my base station and tune it to 7.23 megahertz, 7.023 megahertz, since the Pixie came with the 7.023 megahertz crystal and operates on that frequency. The Pixie will be transmitting close enough to the base station that even with the dummy load, my base station will be able to pick it up. Alright, I'll use a Altoids tin for the enclosure, but the layout for the circuit board didn't match how I wanted the connections to be mounted to the enclosure. So I'll add a BNC antenna connector to the outside, which I ordered in the mail. And I'll also add a DC power connector and a switch for the CW key. So there's the DC power connector. Right here is the BNC antenna connector. And let me grab a switch. I'll need to desolder the BNC that comes with the Pixie and remove it to make everything fit since I soldered it in before planning the layout of the enclosure. Now I need to mark where I want to drill the holes for each of the connectors. Okay, out to the shed to drill the holes now. I need to make a little indent for where I'm going to be drilling. I have a titanium step drill bit set, and I'll use the 1/8 to 1/2 drill bit for that. Okay, got the holes drilled, so now I need to check and make sure that all the connectors fit in the holes properly. Well, it looks like all of the connectors fit inside the box properly, which is good. So the next step for me is to solder wire to each of the terminals. The first thing I'll be soldering is the CW key. What you hear in the background is the soldering smoke fan. Now the DC connector. And last is the BNC connector. And now I solder each of the components to the circuit board from their terminals. This right here is the DC power connector. This is the BNC connector. And this is the CW key. Okay, now one final test and we're good to go. Well, I have completed the Pixie. It's been tested here on the workbench, and now it's ready to go out in the field and be tested there. I will be taking the Pixie on my next Summits on the Air activation, which will be the following video, so don't forget to catch that one. And also, if you are looking for me, you can always catch me on Twitter, November Juliet 7 Victor _, or you can catch me on Instagram, Red Summit RF. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe below and hit that bell so that you can be notified every time I upload new videos. And so we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. 73.